Hey y'all, hey, what's up? Ace here for another week of Rivals 2 recaps. This episode was actually a good one after the last 2 weeks have been shit, so let's get right into it. Jasmine and friends start off the episode by running around the outside of the house screaming, "They're doing it! They're doing it!" And who are they talking about? Teresa and Leroy. And actually, I correct myself. She was not saying they're doing it, they're doing it. She was saying, "They're fucking! They're fucking!" And Wes is pissed because he's hooked up with Teresa before, and Leroy is now hooking up with her in the same room where he sleeps. Wes said that Leroy is a trash man, so he's used to picking up other guys' garbage. Don't be jealous, Wes. Hashtag white boy problems. So Wes is pissy and he moves out of the room. He takes all his shit with him, and then everybody decides to make fun of Wes for leaving the room, and they put a fake Wes in Wes's bed, as you see here, and they write funny shit all over it with hashtags. Hashtag bird chest, hashtag low self-esteem, hashtag not a winner. So that's over, and they move on to Zach on the phone crying to his mom because he missed the birth of his sister's baby. And I can relate to you, Zach, because one, we both have the same last name, and two, we're both hypochondriacs. He's gonna lose it. He goes after the camera guy. He's screaming at everybody, "You want a show? I'll give you a fucking show!" Zach's lost it. So anyway, moving on to the challenge. This challenge is called Frog Smash or something like that, and basically the team has to run across this beam in the air while the rest of the members of the challenge swing back and forth in these buckets and try to knock them off the beam. I always have the best descriptions of the challenge. Cook and Cara Maria go first, and Cara Maria gets knocked off pretty quickly. Next is Teresa and Jasmine's turn to run through, and all the girls that are up there decide that they're not going to swing on them. So when it's their turn, they just easy cheesy just walk across the beam, and nobody tries to get them. What an easy challenge day. Next to go are Paula and Emily, and Paula falls off the beam pretty quickly, and Emily just keeps running straight through, and she doesn't stop. She makes it all the way, and she just flies right off the platform. Overachiever. Then Anissa and Diem gets knocked off, Anissa makes it through. Camilla and Jemmy, they run straight through. Nani and Janae are super hilarious when they go. Nani just gets freaked out by everybody, and she just jumps off the beam herself. She's like, screw it. I'm not even gonna try to make it. I don't care. I don't want to get hit. I'm just gonna forfeit this one. That reminds me of how I felt wakeboarding when I was in the water and I was just like, this has gone on too long, it's time to fall. So now it's time for the boys. So Zach and Trey are up first. Trey gets hit and falls in first. Sorry, Trey. And then Zach actually falls in after him. When Leroy and Ty go, it's so funny. Leroy starts off and then he tries to like swing on the rope in the middle and like bounce himself back up on the beam. He winds up falling. He was trying to be Superman, Spider-Man, whoever man. Anyway, he falls in the water. Ty made it all the way through and then pulled in Emily and just kept running right off the beam. Marlon and Jordan made it all the way across without getting hit. Go rookies. Preston and Knight go. Preston gets knocked off fairly quickly, and then Knight makes it all the way through. But prior to Preston and Knight running across the beam, everybody up there decides that they are going to swing on Preston and Knight because they want Zach and Trey to go home. But Johnny did not swing on them like he said that he would, and nobody's happy about it. CT and Wes make it all the way through without anybody swinging on them. It's an easy challenge day for them too. Frank and Johnny both make it. I hate when it's like kind of like a challenge that I can't really talk about. It's like I could just say, he made it, she made it, blah, blah, blah. Nothing really funny happened. But anyway, good challenge. It was fun to see people get knocked off into the water. So the fastest time for the girls were Jasmine and Teresa, and the fastest time for the guys were CT and Wes, sending Zach and Trey straight into the jungle. Back at Deliberation at the house, Frank is really sad because Zach, his friend, wants to send in him and Johnny because he hates Johnny. But when the girls go to vote, something crazy happens. Teresa decides that she is going to go ahead and throw in a team that she wouldn't really throw in, just so she doesn't really have to pick sides between teams. She chooses Leroy and Ty, and Leroy and Ty are like, what? Nani and Janae then do the same and vote for Leroy and Ty, and then Diem and Anissa do the same, and they are just shocked. They don't know what just happened, they don't know why they're going into the jungle, and they are not happy. Oh, plan gone wrong. You know who's stoked? Wes. So Teresa's in the house giving Diem shit for throwing in Ty and Leroy when apparently Diem knows that Teresa would never throw them in. But it's kind of Teresa's fault. This is the challenge. Make sure to fully calculate your moves before you make them. Do you know what show you're on? Just saying. I just realized that there's not really any drinking time in this challenge. Ace don't like that. So moving on to the jungle. I don't feel like screaming today. The jungle was cool though. It was called Breaking On Through, and it was like these 3 levels, floors that they had to break through, but each one of the little trap doors that they had to get through was made out of something different. They had to do like different things. Anyway, the first floor was like sheetrock, the second floor was like chain link fences, and the third floor was like glass. And then the fourth, when you got to the bottom, you had to like, knock off locks with crowbars and things. I don't know. Anyway, they had to they had to get through the whole thing and make it out first. That's what they had to do. Both teams were super amped up for this challenge. So I can't even explain what's going on during the whole jungle because it went so fast. I mean, there's just dudes breaking through floors and stuff. But anyway, I guess Zach and Trey make it through first. And it looked really, really fun. But then Zach is like that super macho dude who wins. And he's like, yeah, I showed you. Throws his fucking helmet into the crowd of his friends and shows what sportsmanship he does not have. What a douchey move. I hate when people do that type of shit when they win. Just win, be humble about winning, go back to your spot while the other people go home. You don't have to cause a scene about it. We're no longer related, Zach. We're no longer related. But then TJ is like, wait up a second. Because apparently the teams had to alternate who broke through what floors. And then TJ's like, hey, Zach, did you break through floor 1? And he's like, no, I broke through floor 2. He's like, I think you broke through floor 1. And he's like, no, I didn't. I just jumped through. And then they show him clearly stomping through the floor. And he's still like, I didn't do that. I just jumped through. It's like, dude, you're on television. This is being filmed. We have proof. And he's still denying it. Anyway, so in the end, Leroy and Ty get to stay. And Zach and Trey have to go home because they fucked up the rules. But poor Trey, my #1 buddy, it wasn't your fault, man. You did a good job. Zach really fucked this one up for you. And that's basically what happened on last night's episode of the challenge. Everybody tell me down in the comments if you're sad to see Trey and Zach go home. And as always, give this video a thumbs up because you like it and you like me, right? We like each other, yeah? Okay. I want to thank everybody who watches these recaps weekly, and I will see you next week for another one. Don't forget to follow all the links down below in the description. Check out Head Rush and give them a follow on Twitter. Check out their website for awesome shirts and stuff. And you want to look like TJ Lavin. Who doesn't want to look like TJ Lavin? Anyway, I'll see you guys next week. Peace out. So Jemmy is flipping the fuck out about all this ketchup, okay? Nobody knows how I feel about ketchup! I do, girl. If it was mayonnaise, I would feel your pain.